welcome back to Middle-earth Quest. It is Eleanor's 8th turn, and the first thing we do on a hero turn, she is way up here, of course, in the Iron Hills, is we do a rest step. Well, she is unable to rest because she is in the same space as a monster token. Which brings us right into the next part of the hero turn, and that's the ambush step. And indeed, she is going to be ambushed by a monster, which looks to be an orc. So she's going to have to fight an orc, I believe it is. I'll get set up over here, and we'll do that battle. Okay, so here we have Eleanor on the left, and we have the orc on the right. So let's take a look at the orc's stats here. It has a total of 3 hit points, fortitude of 5, so it's going to be drawing 5 cards from this deck, the 40% melee, 60% ranged, has a strength of 4, so it can only play cards up to 4, a wisdom of 2, so if you don't defeat it, Sauron gets to place 2 influence tokens on the board. And it has a fanatical special ability. It says if both you and your opponent play melee cards, deal your opponent 1 damage. So if Eleanor and the orc both play melee cards at the same time, Eleanor will take a damage. Alright, so fortitude of 5 means the orc's going to draw 5 cards from this deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's going to be the orc's cards. And Eleanor, we can go over to her area and get her cards drawn up. Alright, so for a battle, Eleanor now has an agility of 2, which means she can draw 2 cards and just use her strength of 6, or she can draw 1 card of a strength of 7, or draw no cards of a strength of 8. I think she is going to draw 2 cards. So off the top of her life pool, she's going to draw 2 cards, giving her the most cards, so range strike and a volley. It's going to add that to her hand. So we're going to gather up all of her cards, which are quite a lot, and we're going to get over to the battle area and have a fight between Eleanor and the orc. Alright, so the orc here has a bunch of cards, and we're going to organize his cards here in order of playing them. And what is he going to do? He's going to do that. Alright, so here's the order of the orcs playing cards, and now Eleanor. What is she going to do? Now remember, the orc has a strength of 4, so he can only play a total of 4. And Eleanor has a strength of 6, so she has a lot of cards she can play. I think the first thing she wants to do, she could retreat, of course, but I don't think she's going to do that. She could just one-shot the orc with a cross. I think she's going to try out her crossbow shot. There's 4 damage, no defense though, and this card cannot be canceled, so that should guarantee a one-shot kill of the orc. So what did the orc play? The orc played Charge, which is 2 damage. It says, cancel your opponent's ranged card. Well, this card specifically states this card cannot be canceled. So the Charge would have normally canceled an opponent's ranged attack, but it does not. However, Eleanor must take 2 damage because she has no defense. So we're going to take 2 cards off the top of her life pool, put them into her damage pool. So a little bit of damage, and now she is going to do 4 damage to the orc. The orc has 3 hit points. The orc is wiped out, and they both didn't play melee cards, so the fanatical ability of the orc doesn't come into play. So that was a very quick battle. Eleanor makes quick work of the orc with her crossbow. Of course, this card goes into her rest pool. And Eleanor now has this many cards left in her hand. So let's go back to the main board and carry on with Eleanor's turn. Alright, so Eleanor, having made short work of the orc, now decides to move. So her cards, she has a couple hills, a swamp / tree gondor, forest, couple mountains, and a plain. The first card she's going to play is the plain card. She's going to move all the way back down again to Rune. And then she is going to play 2 cards. She's going to play the 2 mountain cards to move to the bite. And from the bite, she will play a forest card to take her to Rosgabelle and any one card will take her to the Gladden Field. She'll use the swamp card to do that. And there are 3 influence tokens there, but Eleanor's wisdom is 3, so that space is not considered perilous. And she will spend 1 hill token card to move to Lothlorien. And that is where she's going to end her turn. So she's going to keep this card in her hand. She's going to end her turn here in Lothlorien. And that will be the end of her movement. And now, of course, at the end of the turn, she is going to have an encounter step. So I'll just rearrange the camera here, and we'll get to Eleanor's encounter for her 8th turn. All right, so Eleanor here in Lothlorien is in a haven. So we're going to look at the haven deck. And she is despondent. It says when you, indifferent. When you draw encounter cards, draw 2 instead of 3. So she's just going to draw 2 cards off the haven deck instead of 3. And we'll see if any of them apply. Edoras, she is not in Edoras, but any location can indeed apply. And this card says, I will not say the day is done. The exhausted traveler nearly fell into the arms of the guards at the gate. A place of respite that was. One keen to hear news of the world at large. Wow! Gain 2 favor, then shuffle this card and the matching discard pile into the encounter deck. That is fantastic. So, of course, we know the hero's final ultimate quest is to have favor tokens. Eleanor now has 4 favor tokens. Argalad has none. So we're going to shuffle all the cards back into the Haven deck. All right, so I will do that afterwards. All right, I guess I can just wrap up here then. So that concludes Eleanor's turn. We have Gandalf here. We have the Ring Wraiths here. We have the Black Serpent. That was the end of Eleanor's turn. It looks like, unless Sauron can pull something out of his hat, things are looking pretty good for the heroes. Argalad's in a little bit of rough shape up here with Mouth of Sauron, but he will probably prevail. And of course, we'll find out next time when it's Argalad's turn. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Join me next time when we have Argalad, the Middle-earth vacationer. We'll be taking his turn, and we'll see what's up with him. All right, thanks for watching.